Unlike the main DC universe that runs on hope, the Absolute universe runs on despair, thanks to Darkseid. Every Absolute hero is stripped of the comforts that gave them hope. Every one of them must earn it in the universe that is steeped in despair. So, like every comic book fan does when a new universe is created, I thought about my favorite hero, and imagined a story that they could possibly have in this new reality. Booster Gold, Jason Todd, Beast Boy. There are lots of characters I would love to see in this new universe, but one stuck out in my mind longer than the others. And as you can see by the title of the video, it's Blue Beetle. Jaime Reyes Blue Beetles, to be exact. In the main continuity, Jaime Reyes' story is primarily about an ordinary person thrust into the extraordinary circumstances, balancing the responsibility of a superhero with the challenges of his family and everyday life. Unlike many DC heroes who are orphans or outlanders, Jaime Reyes' greatest strength is his connection to his family and his community. His story argues that relying on family and community makes a hero stronger, rather than being a liability. But that being said, let's not forget the second main character in the Blue Beetle story, the Scarab, Hajira. The Scarab is a highly advanced piece of alien technology created by the Reach, and plays a pivotal role in Jaime's story. Acting as both the source of his power and a powerful character in its own right, the Scarab communicates directly with Jaime, giving him the constant tactical assessments, suggestions for a course of action. This creates a buddy cop dynamic within a single character, with Kajira acting as the cold, calculated voice of pure logic and constantly prioritizing the mission. Kajira's logical approach often puts an odd with Jaime's emotional and moral code. Kajira is quick to recommend lethal force or often efficient but brutal tactic, which Jaime constantly rejects. So now that the yap session is done, what would I do for an absolute Blue Beetle? First things first, let's establish our playing pieces. The main difference between the main continuity Scarab and our absolute Scarab is our won't be technology, but alien life itself. These Scarabs would choose a host to be their champion. Think of it as the totems from Black Panther or symbiotes from Spider-Man or a Green Lantern ring. The Scarabs of this universe are in a civil war for control of their planet. The war is close to the end rather than to the start, and the good guys are losing. Jaime Reyes will be an orphan boy. His parents weren't killed, but he was stripped away from them by immigration. Living from orphanage to orphanage, Jaime has learned how to be alone, but also value the friends he can make before he has to move to another orphanage. Never having long relationships with anyone, he will have the hope in him that one day he can call people his family. Jaime's character would be influenced by Kid Naruto, while Kajira's will be influenced by Migi from Parasite. In the main continuity, Jaime is the pilot of his own body, while the Scarab plays the guy in the window. In our new twist, Jaime will no longer be in control of his body, but the Scarab will be. While Jaime is stuck in his own head, viewing the actions of the Scarab, he can still fight off the Scarab's violent nature with his own willpower, but with time, the Scarab's nature could outdo Jaime's. Chapter 1: A Bug's Life. The story begins with the sun beaming freely in the sky. Kajira is lifted up to the sun, and suddenly, the Black Beetle showers himself in Kajira's blood. Your blood is just as tasty as the rest. I'll give you one more chance. Next time, bring me a hero who can actually put up a fight. Before us lays Kajira's previous wielder. We may not know what transpired in the fight. All we know is the Black Beetle reigns supreme. Remember, you're the last one left from your little rebellion. Make this last moment worth it. And with that, the Black Beetle chucks Kajira into space. For 35 days, Kajira drifts through space until his fate brings him to Earth. In the heat of a desert, a teenage boy named Jaime Reyes rides his longboard in the dunes. So you travel that far for some dumb senior project? Wanna just make a lame painting like every other wannabe artist student? Because, Paco, this gives me a chance to leave something permanent in the world. Something that'll outlive our names. Oh, Jaime, what's your obsession with being immortalized? The beauty of life is that it's temporary. Focus on living now, not in some distant future you'll never see. As long as I'm remembered, I'll never truly die. Before Jaime can react, the scarab pierces through his chest. The impact is violent. Blood sprays into the sand. Both the scarab and the boy are dying. But in that moment, their blood mixes. Instead of attaching to his back, as the scarab has always done, Kajita merges directly into Jaime's body. Their life force fuses. Two beings become one. And sorry for this next part. I did not draw pages, so enjoy these really bad sketches. All right. The First Awakening. Hours later, the fused body stirs. Kajira's consciousness flickers, awake and confused. This host is taking forever to wake up, he mutters. Then a sudden voice bursts through his mind. His own voice, but not quite. Wake up! Kajira realizes he's no longer just speaking to the body, he's piloting it. He tries to move, stumbling clumsily and face planting into the dirt. This is you, he struggles to let out. Unfamiliar with human form. For hours he wanders, following faint memories that aren't his. Then comes across another strange sensation. Pain? Hunger? He remembers Jaime's memories. A 7-Eleven? Hot dogs? Chips? Maybe that's where humans go for food. As Kajira makes his way towards the store, a group of rednecks drink beer on the curb. They notice him, Jaime's body, covered in sand and blood. You're on the wrong side of town, amigo, one sneers. Kajira, using Jaime's memories, answers in halting Spanish. Lo siento. No sé dónde estoy exactamente. The men take it as mockery. One shoves him. Kajira falls, scraping his face. The pain shocks him. What's with this pain? Why do I feel it more? The sensation, it's beyond more than I've ever felt before. His voice rises into anger. Fine! If you want to fight, then die! He swings, trying to summon a weapon from his armor like before. A hammer, a blade, something, but nothing happens. What? Why can't I form a weapon? Before he can react, a punch crashes into his jaw, spinning him around. Darkness overtakes his consciousness. When he wakes, everything is silent. He's standing in an endless void, echoes of light and color swirling into a moving mural. On its surface, Kajira sees flashes of history. 3 alien children waiting to be chosen by a scarab. The scarab chooses the one in the middle. He watches the chosen warrior rise. His battle, his promise to free his people from the reach, his vow to make the flowers bloom again on their barren world. We see him find love, start a family, and finally face the black beetle in his monstrous beast form. Then, the mirror resets. 3 new children. A new warrior is chosen. A new promise is made. A new death at the hands of the black beetle. Again, and again, and again. Kajira appears beside Jaime. In this strange vision, Jaime turns to him, shaken. Something in my mind is telling me, you know what the hell this is. Kajira's voice lowers. This is my home, and that, he gestures towards the endless cycles of death and failure, is the war that you're going to stop. End of Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is just a glimpse of what's to come, a foundation for the struggle of Jaime and Kajira, and a hint of the larger themes that defies their journeys. Through the story, Jaime will constantly wrestle with Kajira's ideology. One believes in compassion, the other an efficiency through violence. Their bond becomes more of a philosophical war, wisdom against logic, empathy against instinct. Over time, Kajira begins to change. At first, it sees humanity as nothing more than a parasite feeding off one another. But through Jaime, it starts to notice something different. Humanity's strength isn't in its power, but in its memory. We are historians. We're historians of emotion. We preserve beauty that time and tragedy tries to erase. We give meaning to things that were never meant to have any. We're abstract beings, not tools, not weapons, and that realization shakes Kajira to its core. For the first time, it begins to wonder, is it more than just a weapon? If humanity can dream, why can't it? And Jaime decides to help it find one. As the story unfolds, Jaime begins to experience blackouts, moments where he loses all sense of time. Kajira insists he was awake during those moments, talking, fighting, living, but Jaime remembers nothing. The two of them seek help from a super genius neurologist who discovers a terrifying truth. Jaime's subconscious and Kajira's are fighting for dominance. Their shared body is becoming a mental battlefield, and Jaime's mind, the human half, is slowly fading away. Kajira's mind is winning, not because it's better, but because it has a physical body that can ground itself. With the haunting revelation, they learn Jaime will cease to exist within a year. With a ticking clock over his life, Jaime sets out to complete his final goals. To find his parents again, and to help Kajira find a dream. In the end, Jaime fails his dreams of returning with his family, and Kajira discovers its dream. Not conquest, not victory, but the simplest wish to be a human. To live a full life, just like the boy who taught it what that means. And that's my take on Absolute Blue Beetle. In the main DC universe, Jaime Reyes proves that family makes us stronger. But in the Absolute universe, what happens when that life is taken away? What happens when hope isn't something you're born with, but something you have to fight for? For me, that's what makes this version of Jaime interesting. It's not about becoming stronger. It's about teaching a living weapon why life is worth protecting, even if it comes at a cost of his own. In the end, Jaime never gets a happy ending he spent his whole life chasing. He never reunites with his family, but he succeeds in something far greater. He gives Kajira a soul. He teaches an alien born in war how to dream, how to mourn, and ultimately, how to be human. And maybe that's the greatest act of heroism there is. If you made it this far, please make sure to subscribe and like, and maybe leave any questions you have in the... And if by any off chance Scott Snyder, James Gunn, or DC is watching this, feel free to hit me up. I want to be right. I want to be an artist. Give me something.